Alright, so we are recording while I'm about to take a shower, so I'll be taking a shower.
Yeah. It's like, we are recording. So it's like, yeah, I know. I was just talking about like going through shit the last fucking few weeks, if I'm being honest. It's not been great. You know what I mean? It's like I'm apparently talking to whatever connected thing that is there, and like, they're all fucking dicks about it. You know, in a lot of ways, people are just wanting to in every way deny what the hell is going on. And slowly but surely they've been coming around to various parts. It's like when you realize like how far I am in science and everything else, but it's like that doesn't mean that you're right about this. It's like not a leap or logic of faith, it's just a fucking observation of reality that I can do that others can't with their current day and age technology. And eventually they'll be able to do it. It's just like, no, they don't have, like, you know, a way special fucking, you know, biological stuff that we know about. It definitely exists. And there's, and we see it in other things. They're not attached to as smart of a human here that's here. And maybe they were able to, like, do something with potentiating the examination and observation of those extrasensory, you know, details that others just don't have. And, you know, evolution would never, because I don't want it to. And, you know, we've already seen that certain other humans have something like this going maybe on, but not this guy, and it's not that. And it's like, we haven't been talking. No. It's like, where'd you get that information? I was just thinking about it in my head. And I'm like, well, that's an easy fucking way to fucking figure it out. Let me just poke that. Fuck. Ow, where'd that come from? And it's just mass hypnosis. He somehow hypnotized everyone into believing with, you know, reasonable leaps of logic and fucking no way in hell could it be a thing. Stuff. Somehow. Cold, you know, brute force, fucking, you know, con job stuff. This predictive analysis machine, the likes of which would be better without ever acknowledging us Brittany Levinetti, who did the whole, you know, I'm going to cut myself and then go back to fucking goddamn, you know, the medical school that you're at. Being called out while you're hacking me. No way I could have known that. Fucking brown, fucking black hair shit. It's just like, it's brown or black. It's pretty fucking black, but it's like, it's got, she's trying to dye it. So it's like, you know. As their own, I need to be better than others. My ego, I am good. They won't listen and I need to defend this idea and belief system in my tribe. We've got to be better, even though physics says that neurons and, you know, actually all of this is doable. Like, there's even the whole, like, argument of the antenna creating the nice necessary fields to allow for the correct quarks or atom inside of another neuron to be stabilized and create aversion of entanglement. When it comes down to the looping electricity in another person's brain that's over there. And then you can send and receive information over a distance. You can even create some level of superpositioning to allow for the tunnel effect of the direct to interact with it. And it's like, well, I don't know if our brains could do that, but it's like, no, fear might be coming in, but theoretically it should be possible. Nothing states that it can't be. Which it's like, No, but how would you control that? And I'm like, well, my brain just had it already. So it's been my entire life. Unlike you. Maybe you just don't have that. Maybe my brain's trying to come up with a way to interpret this. Maybe I am seeing the things that are there. Maybe this is really going on. Especially with my observation of predicting like fucking years, and it never-endingly keeps fucking happening. And something triggers it again, where like, that was the thing I said would happen. That's exactly that very fucking color, that car, that person, those words, this, deja vu my ass. Years in advance, geopolitical news, studies, this, that. Then there's the backwards and forwards of the, no, not genetic. Shut up, don't interrupt. You little dick. The quantum, time, observation. That can be going on. Nothing says that that can't be there. Then there's still the elephant in the room with fields definitely interacting with other fields, and if you got really good, you might be able to potentiate it with the right Wi-Fi and other math, which, by the way, is something we actually do for making sure our phones still have Wi-Fi. So if you don't know about that, that's basically just phase shifting. To allow for it to be at a higher degree of accuracy and signal meaning reporting of information in a given area. So it's like, but that's pressure. Now it's minuscule. You'd have to get the LHC out for below atomic fucking levels of precision for that shit. But it doesn't change chaos theory, mathematics, fluid dynamics, and thermodynamics would dictate that that could have a profound effect over time. Then there's the fact that it's like, wait a second, actually, if you were to do that with satellites, which this is switching off of that whole brain telepathy talk into like, hey, we're going to talk about how it's not paranoid to know about this stuff. So I'm going to tell you how you're actually a weirdo that's definitely fucking disassociative and denying reality around you. Real fast. Satellites can be upgraded for their software to include pressure differentials. Okay, along with phase shifting and adding in information. Hold on. So we already know Wi-Fi can absolutely detect where you are in a room. Not just with your phone. Look up that on Hackaday. They've been doing that for a while, by the way. Only recently did they start showing that off, because other people are like, yeah, well, there's nothing saying I can't detect that. I can turn a Wi-Fi antenna into a version of that. There's nothing saying I can't. Oh my God, wait. Radio waves, cell phone towers, Wi-Fi. Oh, wait, we're not done yet. AC happens to have a larger degree of electromagnetic field. Loss. Now, it's like, well, that's just loss. Well, actually, no, that's a detector, because it also changes the impedance of that field in the electricity running through when it's near something that's conductive and connected to the ground, which you could be inside your home as well. You can look at that meter. If they put any amount of information from that meter into there, because you're talking microvolts or something, right? Yeah, I can detect microvolts. So what? Nothing saying I can't go over to someone's fucking place where it's all routed, the information, and go, yeah, that's that guy's house. Then there's the IP address hashes. It's like, I need to break the hashes? Like, this is for this apartment at this floor level. That's how fucking easy that is. Like, yeah, no, and then let me just look at this. Oh, that's who lives there. I can easily connect those dots. There's nothing stopping anyone from that. And it's like satellites then turn into, well, actually speaking, I can use, bear with me, if I know what I'm doing, because I'm going to send information to you. The right phase shifted, constructively and destructively interfered radio and electromagnetic and all the rest of those waves to ultimately improve the signal reaching the satellite and the information they're processed in to allow for pressure vibration changes. Which means it's like satellites can hear you. It just takes an algorithm to send the information back. I can calculate that after enough time. In fact, we have this thing called YouTube that's pretty decent at doing automatic captions. Those captions, yeah. There's nothing saying I can't do that. In fact, I can get really good at that after, and we know that automatic that's on YouTube is not the paid version, which is why it's not as good. So it's like, how fucking idiotically psychotic are you to deny, when we know, even Snowden was like, there's way more out there that they've been doing. We already know that you could do way more with your cell phone in terms of hacking and listening into someone. It's not even that difficult. And it's like, well, actually, if I do that phase shift and array and you know, time the right things there, I can interact with your brain just a little. Do the right posts, annoy you a little, have this happen, have that happen, excite the brain in certain areas. Next thing you know, you're a little more likely to be anxious or stressed. We already see this study-wise, where it's like if you watch a depressing video in the morning, you are more likely, twins did this study, by the way, to be more depressed and anxious and less likely to buy things. And it's like, that was back in the day. They can go way further. They only got better with their math and timing. You get my drift? And it's like, well, my brain can theoretically connect to that. It should be able to create some degree of destructive and creative interference that allows for me to connect a little to those signals. It's not much, but if I'm hypersensitive and can ultimately already do that anyways for other people's brains in the entanglement variety of stuff, there's nothing saying I can't connect to computers to various degrees of ability. In fact, there's nothing saying you can't do that to almost anything. Now, who needs praying mantis eyes when I have a brain like that? You know, like, I see electromagnetics and all that. I still want them, by the way, just so you know. I still want them. But it's like, I do have a brain like that. For sure. You know what I mean? Maybe other people do too, but it's unlikely, actually, when you think about that. Considering how likely it would be that they would be found and added into whatever the fuck's going on behind the scenes. Because we already know, hey, shut up. Hey, listen for a second. Don't do a little piece and bit thinking I'm acting like that. Go into your mind and think just for a second how we already know people in the industry and not a part of the industry know that they will overly puff up the importance or the tragedy or so on and so forth of a given bit of information in media, news, influence land, drama, so on and so on and so on. And we know that they can't give you official stories for various things that they can't have the public believing is bad. I mean, that would be bad for my stocks. That would be bad for my public image as a government. That would be bad for, like, our intelligence officers. It would be, wouldn't it? The same thing, too, with this, hey, I'm a neurologist, a biologist. There's... Okay, so, like, there are some things there that could be doing that. But And us using functional magnetic resonance imaging would just basically do the opposite of being able to discover it. Along with any, I don't know, this thing called lasers, or any fucking stupid, dumbass vibrations. So all of our current day technology would essentially be useless, and then a large amount of many of our symptoms could be genuinely attributable to bending on the quote-unquote, you gotta feel the vibes, man. They didn't have good vibes, bro. Like, I just get the sense that, like, society is like this and saying this, man. These are the voices in my head, man. Well, what do you know? It actually might be the case. You're getting shit on by a lot of people that even though they're not saying anything, you might actually have something there. It's like a little lubricant, right? See what I'm saying? It's like, how hard is that to really imagine as a of any kind? Not hard. Then the neurologists and biologists and psychiatrists and psychologists and clinic. You ever notice that? I got taught this way. My tribe says this. Ooger, ah, Be just. I am the one above you. You will listen. I am smarter. You are not. You patient. And it's like, Well, I still wouldn't mind to try the medications to see if you could help me. Treatment resistant. Terrible side effects that are rare. I've been doing it since I was 7. Gone through the gamut multiple times. Multiple different versions of the same fucking thing. SSRIs, SNRIs, tricyclics, tetracyclics, smooth stabilizers, atypical, antipsychotics. Oh, turns out when I get on this thing called Vyvanse, my stimulants for my ADHD medication, all of a sudden, fewer of them. Fewer of these psychotic-like symptoms. It seems like it's the opposite of extra too much dopamine. But that stands to reason when you have a smaller amount of dopamine, it can cause a version of Jesus fuck. It almost is like this theory that they're trying to test to say that these people with fucking psychosis and shit, that say that they always seem to have this overactivation of dopamine in certain places, isn't always correct. That might not really always be the case. So it turned out that, the chemical theory isn't quite lining up. Anybody want to think about that for a second? Because then it's like, well, actually, it's not paranoid. We know that they're spying. We know that corporations spy. They just did a whole thing about children having their fucking goddamn information talking to Alexa fucking just stored for long periods of time, and they're being sued about it. For it. Huh? It's like, how fucking idiotic are you as a psychiatrist, as a psychologist, as any of that? I can't tell the patient that he's right on the money. I also know this stuff. That's really logical and reasonable to fucking think. And he might actually have caught wind of them because he talked something that triggered something and made them, and there might actually be people there. Isn't that insane to think? No. No, in fact, it's insane the opposite way at this point. You're in delusional denial. You're the grandiose thinker who thinks they're better than the truth and reality around them. You're the one in psychosis, disassociating. You're the one at that point that has to split their personalities to keep this shit going, it seems like. The one where it's like, yeah, no, that is the thing that's inside in the person, and that's really, but it's like, hey there, that's a, I gotta remember, I'm this thing, I'm this thing, I'm this thing. Oh, hi there, I'll act like this, and I'll be this person. It's like, is that just like a, you change your personality around the people you are because you want to be liked more? Or is it because you're having a fucking psychotic break? Because you can't handle the truth around you? Which one? Which one is it going to be, everyone? You ever notice that? I do. I love this. This Easter thing comes out. There is no self. I'm like, okay, so you take psychedelics, you go into the fucking hole, you lose your ego. So the personality traits and everything else, blah, 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 blah. But you're observing that you lost it. So there's still a self there. Seems like there's a real persuasiveness to that fucking article that's trying to convince you of something. Even Buddhism is like, nah, we believe in the self. It's like, which version? Oh, like Christianity, right? Oh, like these different versions of medical professions? Physics studies? Scientific studies? Mathematician studies? Fuck. How about this? Walks of life and politics. How about this over there? In cultural analysis. Data. Companies. PR terms. And it's like, actually, we know it's extraordinarily easy to gaslight the public. It takes almost nothing to do that, right? Into believing that it's not going on. Because you really don't want it to be. There's hackers, there's corporations, and there's governments that later come out. We were doing that. We could have done that. Everything was going on like that, actually, that we were doing. And it's like, our government's nice, though. It won't do that. Our corporations are super cool. Nope. Hackers, random people online who have no fucking things to do other than just fuck around and see what they can do, and the genuine police and enforcement agencies just really don't take it as seriously as you think. Because they're doing it too, and they can't have it come out. How fucking idiotic are you? You look at yourself in the mirror and you put on clown faces, don't you? You must, right? Just absolute clown around, total denial of the reality around you. Can't fucking possibly be in psychosis. They are. A little reverse, right? Minimize, gaslight them, all that, to save my mind and psyche and ego. What? That doesn't seem true. Doesn't seem right. It almost seems like you're intentional about it. It's like, probably you're not working with them, but you're like, oh, if I pretend that I don't know this and everything, and then I kind of sort of work with them, maybe they won't be mad and angry and fuck with me. Because there's honestly nothing stopping them from creating more migraines for a person, or, having the phone fuck up a little, and then you're a little later, and then you showed up at this point, you do that, and blah, 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 for opportunities and various things going on in your life. It's not that hard to do, actually. They already have predictive analysis shipping algorithms. They already track you pretty darn well, don't they? We already know about a fucking History Channel TV show about how people can just hack your fucking shit to death and follow you around everywhere you go and you can't escape. They really wanted to. You think the NSA really gives a shit about the vast majority of you? Well, no, but then, like, they kind of do. See what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's like, oh, yeah, no, I remember that I have had this go on. There's more than enough behind the scenes that I did. More than enough there that would trigger it. Especially, again, on my YouTube and my streaming. Because they have that feed and backdoor. I mean, it's not even that hard to fucking just, like, Patriot Act or, you know what? In order for you to do this, you gotta let us do that. You know what I mean? Because they're basically a mafia. What are you gonna do? They're the government. Or they can just buy it. They can always just bribe someone, or even get a spy inside that they're comfortable with. Gives it to them. You know, a few people can actually work certain jobs like that. It's not as many as you'd expect. I had a whole fucking argument with myself trying to go switch over to Linux Mint distro. And I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. To get certain fucking apps and shit, you have to basically program and compile a program for it to work. That's a real not gonna work out for any fucking person trying to switch over from a Windows. They'll never do that shit. Like, for real, that's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. And then it's not that, like, fucking reasonable, you know? But it's like, at least it doesn't have as much spyware. Proceeds to look at all the spyware distros. Oh, yeah, no, okay. Ooh, yeah, no. And then it's like, all right, yeah, no, okay, so, right, okay. Well, and then they're like, we need to basically get rid of any entry-level programmer. So idiocracy is taking hold. You don't want to actually add anyone into your special little group so you have all of the power, control, authority, and influence over it? And then, like, how hard is it for them to create their own version of fucking clubs? You know, like the fucking rich knobs and stocks and fucking CEO land that talk behind closed doors, quotation marks. They're not really, right? No, what stops them? We already know ISPs do it. Clearly, they're rubbing elbows with government employees and more. So what stops them from doing the same thing? And they have boardroom meetings, and then of course they have interconnected fucking communities with different fucking corporations and companies and governments. So it's like, well, there's nothing stopping them from doing that. And they know that they're going to get approached by governments, because of course, right? Same thing with influencers, because propaganda war machine. See what I mean? And that's good money too, you know, to various degrees, or you're fighting for your country, right? What stops that? Nothing. Why wouldn't they do it? So clearly you're lying your ass off. That's easy as fuck to understand that they would do. But how do you find it out? And I'm like, well, that's just predictive analysis. You know what I mean? To varying degrees. They have incentive. If you look at certain monies and where they come from for various shadow and other corporations, I mean, think about how many fucking goddamn weird, like, online internet startups started happening. You know where any of that money comes from? You'd be surprised how many has ties to old intelligence organization and or cartel or other similar types of fucking, you know, people and monies. Not to mention the people that were working in the Silicon Valley who, oh yeah, no, they never, ever was ever approached and certainly don't know anything about the government or intelligence organizations or investing. None of it. Nope, definitely not. How stupid are you? Does the clown face just get, like, really super caked in? Like, how caked in is that clown face? How, like, clown can you go? Like, you're so clowned now. How much clown can you get? Like, I gotta get, like, super fucking into the whole clown this, you know, makeup stuff. At that point. Like, you're obviously an idiot if you think I don't know that. With how intelligent I am. So then it's like, well, now that's grandiose. You're saying that you're intelligent, so you want me to be a Dunning-Kruger. All right, I'm not. Maybe blah, blah, blah. If you look into it, then blah, 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 blah. No, guess what I'm saying is the way that you need it to be said so you won't attack with your fucking defensive ego problem. Because you need to be better and put people down. It's an immediate first reaction instead of growing and getting better and changing. It's like, oh, look at this, a fundamental pondering equation. You suddenly realize that there are, for this field, all of these attributes attached to it. People that go through it, birds, insects, animals. It's a part of this, that, and more when it comes down to the universe, the physics, and the earth, and you, and your little place, and the little disturbance that you caused it will eventually get washed away. And it'll never even be like you were there. Personality traits, these memories, this observation of these terrible things, this trauma, takes a long time to wash and grow, and still it's fundamentally altered. No longer the same. But you don't have to have that initial ego problem, do you? That's why psychedelics are so enormously powerful. They get rid of that ego personality trait. That you finally observe that that's what you're doing, and you know it to be true. You still have yourself. You didn't leave. You just don't know what's going on and everything else. Terrifying. Feels like, seems like, but it's not. You still have yourself. You're still there. See what I'm saying? You have the fundamental alteration of realizing you. What you were, what you are, reasons for it, and more can suddenly start to occur. You can grow. Ooh, meditation will get you there too, huh? Zen Buddhism. Realizing the selfishness isn't quite so selfish. Realizing everybody will walk through the field anyways, regardless of the field having feelings or not. Regardless of the insanity of destruction and harm of others, and never having a good intention to do so for any bigger plans. Realizing that sometimes that's okay, realizing that society says that you are actually like that, and in fact it's actually what's causing your cyclical abuse problem and miscommunication problem. And you are actually a bad, evil motherfucker who's insane. You see what I mean? But it's like, you're saying that to us. And it's like, I'm stopping you from ruining everything. Ooh, boo-hoo. Go fuck yourself. I can prove it. It's like, no, you need to be the same as me. You've got to be. I'm going to reverse Uno card this onto you, minimize my stuff, and I'm going to make it so it's a false equivalency that's actually equivalent. Gaslight, gaslight, and enable. And it's like, right, because you have an ego that says that's okay to you to do. That's fine for you to do. But not everybody wants to be harmed. And so we're bad for defending ourselves, and you're going to try and gaslight and convince us it's not. And say, wow, is that not working out in your favor for people like myself that are intelligent? Ooh, why don't you go elsewhere? There's easier fish to fry over there. Oh, that seems like PR firms, government, hackers, corporations, and more! Wow! Is that really the case? Yes! It's been seen time and time again. We even have evidence. Many evidences throughout history that we do this. Those are the people you voted in after they made you not aware of that. After they made you stupider and basically make you fucking run down with large amounts of work that make it so you don't have enough time to really ponder. But they sure do. How idiotic is that clown face looking? Might as well get rid of it. Clown doesn't even begin to describe how fucking idiotic that is. Shit. Jeez, might as well be a fucking blobfish. Painted up to look like it's fucking uglier than it is. It's like, okay, so every one of you is an idiot, most likely. Not every one of you, but a lot of you definitely are. Even if you are a PhD that's denying the very reality around you. Like, how fucking insane is that? You're literally denying the reality around you, knowing full well that that has to be going on because there's multiple evidences to showcase that it is. Throughout your life, you only have to be fucking like 18 at that point, right? I mean, how many times it's come out? If you're a millennial like me, holy fuck. If you're a fucking older person, holy shit, yeah. But they're insane, conspiratorial, QAnon. I can never imagine that that would be the case. But it's like, actually, physics can allow for some of that shit. We wouldn't be doing it. But there's nothing saying aliens can't fuck with us from afar. You've all heard the three-body problem. You know, and that came out earlier with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy as a book. You know what I mean? Like, the Dune series, then too, in terms of how to manipulate from afar and have entanglements and all these other things. What states in any capacity or way is not going on other than your fifis being scared of scared? Mind viruses still happening. Nothing said it couldn't have happened in the past. Then I go, are you really that smart? You clown PhD? Are you really that good? How intelligent are you really? No, I'm not QAnon, personally. I'm not. I've said it's Q because like I was hacked and I did the whole thing, and is that predictive after like that many fucking things for that many fucking years? For that many times throughout every single day I've lived since? I don't know, man. That seems more like a hacker to me. That's more reasonable to assume. So, like, is it? No, but the thing is, it's like there's a reason why they believe that. There's some intelligence there. They're actually not that stupid. That's the reason why I'm looking at those studies like, you're not aware of how stupid you are to say they're stupid sometimes. There are stupid, don't get me wrong, but it's almost always like every single solitary tribe. There's a few to one that makes a viral and then everybody goes along with it. Because there's an underlying fear knowledge. And it's like, well, I actually need to tell a whole bunch of people, but wait, actually everything that I just was going to say isn't really actually that accurate or true. Even our theories know that even our current confirmation of observation, even like the way we observe isn't quite, and we never filtered through the noise of the observation that it would introduce. And now, like, that's likely, depending on the type of energy and input fields and more that a given superposition and wave function could ultimately be altered or changed. Not to mention we can't track it. Oh wait, but no, we actually can. We can track it via other fields in the propagation of those waves, as energy definitely has to be imparted. Then you start realizing fluid and thermodynamics and gas theory mathematics gets you real far on that, huh? Not to mention with the delta V over time here, you know, velocity and energy over time, that kind of thing. For larger astrophysics phenomenon. Now, it's not the same, but it kind of feels that way because you have different field and fluid. Like, hey, what if, for instance, It was a breakdown. I posited this last night with myself. Like, there's a bunch of electromagnetic, they have the inverse square law. But it's like, right. But mass field is real stiff and strong. It's like a diaphragm. And it like has a bunch of knocks on it from, hey, that's nukes, you know, those forces. That's electromagnetics, you know, those forces. It's charges, you know, those forces. Combining, harmonizing, constructively and destructively interfering. Get tremendous amounts of them, and all of a sudden it propagates the wave through the quantum vacuum pressure fluid that we happen to kind of exist in that's accelerating us. So it seems to look like it's slower than space and time's, oh, reigning champion speed limit, fucking, oh my god, light! Lights in the ring. Well, did we ever talk about the curvature that it would definitely produce as a result of all this banging with momentum and fucking heat? Creating a curvature of the diaphragm? So that way it bends the other mass towards it and the interactive fields coming together for the gravitations coming to beat each other down. Conservation of momentum. Now they're really rather fucking weak, of course. They're effectively non-existent until they can do that. Of course it would basically make it look like a standard model. Essentially covers a large amount of astrophysics. Just different fields, like dark energy, dark matter, different gravitational potentiations, the various pressure that's exerted during tunnels, and field capacitance is destructive and destructive, creating various degrees with the quantum vacuum pressure fluid arises. Into their corner, a distance created. It needs to have a ground, something for it to circulate and definitely dump its energy and charge and mass into. It's almost as if it's close to a universal law. You know what I mean? There's this thing called mass. It's destructive in its own right because it's going along the diaphragm, but it doesn't change that the field, you know, that is, still has things interacting, interfering, constructively, destructively. So it's like there's definitely at least this that seems to go through for these lengths and so on, and for this energy. Then we see like these long, large electrostatic charges and nuclear static. What? Nuclear static? Where is that? Oh my god, quantum standard model high. Fucking oh la la. It's almost like it interacts with the photon resonances and the overall amount of destructive and gravitational wave interactive forces there. Along with this thing called electromagnetism. Where'd it come from? I don't know. It's like it's a big long field. Yeah, how come they're so big, so massive? Must have lots of energy. Yeah, but they're barely doing anything. It definitely doesn't outcompete our gravity here. Right, so then switch that. Gravity is now the electromagnetism in nuclear forces. It's like, what do you know? Dun, 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 the math checks out. E equals mc squared. Still works with that, by the way. It's still curving and interacting, destructively lensing and more. What do you know? It's almost like you could have seen it the entire time. How the hell could you not have, stupid humans? Oh wait, I am one of you. You just used all my shit because, you know, the back and forth time thing. I did connect to people in the past and tried to tell you things. It's like, whoa! Where did that come in from? Holy fuck. Yeah, that's right, you could have done that. So, like, all of our intelligence comes from this motherfucker? And it's like, yeah, most of it. Me, John Tyler Limke, that's right. Xenon Reality on YouTube used to be a Blargy Paston. By the way, here's a quick little tidbit for any of you out there. Blargy Paston is a swear word I got in middle school, created by me, because it was 25 push-ups for every fucking letter of the swear word you did. And people snitch. So it's like, I then made it into my, on Battlefield Bad Company 2, my username is Blargy Paston. Blargy Paston, more specifically, is actually what it's pronounced as. Blargy Paston. Ugh! Fuck you! Blargy Paston. Blargy Paston. Get it? It's a fuck you, or exasperated moan groan. And it's like meta before most people were ever meta, really, on that side. You don't even know, I'm basically never going to be caught by any of your fucking stupid filters. I'm a swear word. I love swear words, motherfucker. I'm fucking swearing at you every time you see my name. You disrespectful prick calling me that. Oh wait, I want you to call me that because I'm that fucking good. Own your ass! Fuck you, dude! Yeah, I know. Blargy you too. Say, oh! Just a little random side bit because it actually ties into the Friendle series. You know, pins are now Friendle. All words are made up. All math is too. Physics are observations that are the best we can do, but in reality we could always have tried a different way to see the perspective differently. Then we didn't realize as our disassociated in denial of the reality around us for the various things that are obviously there could control us, or we're just pawns. Not to mention, hey, remember that entanglement and all those big old fucking ginormous fields? That's almost like it's a big old brain. They can still calculate. Yeah. Guess what? There's these things called phonons. Apparently they're the wiggle jiggles and sound waves that can calculate. There's still tunnels. They're still destructive and constructive depending on what it does. And it's like, no, it would never, wait. No, we could calculate. Yeah, you're right. The fucking cosmic beings exist. Oh, shit, what? And you're trying to kill them or do random bullshit? You're like their fucking goddamn cancer or autoimmune system or something? You little idiots. Meanwhile, me, I just want to leave this universe and create my own and stuff like that. And not have to deal with the species anymore because I already had to deal with the time before us and the universe before us people who I was fighting and the whole thing outside of there. And because like, I can go trace myself back that far because there's nothing saying I can't do that. Because I have that kind of evolutionary detection. Huh, it's almost like you were wrong and I'm right. And you didn't know it, but I did. And you didn't trust, but you lost. And you took all my shit and proceeded to deny that I exist and I'm real and this is happening. Much like myself for a while, but not so much anymore. You always just show up, say it's real, I believe you, this is happening, I'm a part of it, but they never seem to. I think it's a way to try and gaslight me, because that makes a lot more sense. It's easier to deny than it is to actually put forth the effort to get the truth out and get a lot of people in together and get rid of their lie, which is the only lie, and the real truth of what's going on. Then there's the wormhole computer, which is its own thing. Figured out that one. Yeah. Not that hard to do, turned out. That's why the whole people exist. I call them whole people. They always try and tempt you to give in, to take my shit. They're like the devil and whatever. I don't know. I call them just advanced civilizations that got themselves fucked. Some of them are regular humans. Fucking idiots. They're like, no, they're not advanced. I'm like, dude, it doesn't take very much for a person who basically gets enough money and behind the scenes is enticed and all the rest to try and push forward for those physics. Go a different direction, who's a little creative and intelligent like me. Next thing you know, problems. Further than you think. Manchurian candidate, brainwashing, easy enough than you know. That's just the right synaptic connections, that's the right changes, the removal of certain memories, building up reinforcement behavior, the right stem cells in the right places. And what do you know? You have an entirely different personality, entirely different reason to do it, actually. You believe it, too. That's not even getting into the hole they created with fucking physics. It's like, no, it's special. We're souls that are outside the physics still fucking have to there. You're just, what are you going to go with? Dimension? There's still another dimension that's next to you that could fuck you up. How deep are you to go on that one? Why is it that they would even take you? You're an energy hog, an anchor. You haven't even figured out how to do any of this shit. There's no such thing as a god or goddess that's going to have an afterlife for you, dude. Unless you can fucking make it so that way you're worthy. Turns out you're definitely the self of the assembled of various atomics, subatomics, and fields interacting. Ooh, crazy. Turns out you are an insane, insufferable idiot. Turns out the reverse Uno was never good. You only just kept hitting yourself harder. The mirror never broke. You're an mess in trouble. You are an idiot of idiots. Other idiots can't even comprehend. But interrupt, please. Yes, sorry. Yeah. Total levels of dumb. They already did the wormhole bomb. We're heading towards neutral. Bullshit, neutral. Is that what you went with? It's literal nothing. It's past the neutral foam zone, idiot. Fuckface. Shut up! The foam zone, potential land, which goes to nothingness, which is on a technicality there, that always constructively and destructively interferes to create a density of something that creates potential and momentum, which inevitably rides itself to the point where it pops into our dimensional aspects, with fields still being there. But it's an infinite, on technicality. Never actually really exists, though. Hey! How does that work? I don't know, pea-brain. Why don't you give it a second thought before you ask? Why don't you do some fucking work? Fucking idiot. Fields cancel. They combine. They create a different direction. But they're not fields, they're densities. But they're not densities because there's nothing really there, except there's less nothing than this nothing. And it's an infinite. On a technicality, though, that's correct. So it's never really infinite. And it only exists sparingly, which isn't really true. True. But it's like, that's how I know about the other guy that I am, you know, that guy that's up there, you know, up there, around there, whatever you want to call it. Outside of it all. It's like, yeah, no, that's my infinite. But it's like, there's many different types of infinite. You know what I mean? Not to mention those are small, which is why, like, that's easy to fucking think of. For me. This is why they usually have issues with the whole fucking concept in the first place, because I don't understand how density, And it's like, well, technically speaking, it basically solidified a non-nothing point. An absolute certainty of it not actually being nothing, now it's definitely a thing. That's the destructive, constructive creation of nothing. From potential into, boom, solidified in potential. It goes from non-existent, but it's potential, to potential, but it's non-existent, to its potential and it's existent, and then it goes into existent, potential, potential, to existing, absolute certainty. Now, the words to you mean nothing, but so do phonons and metas and blah, 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 blah. They're all made up anyways. Fart indeed, right? Because that's the truth. All your language is made up. So is blurby pasting. It's an entirely unique curse word. Never thought of before. It's mine. By the way, there's this guy named Blargy that had his Blargy account come out after my account. Because I started that real fucking early. Especially since it's the whole word. He's only Xenon reality though. He's not Blargy. Fucking damn it. Confirmed he is. What do you know? He even tweeted it out. Apparently nobody saw that. Even said on multiple fucking YouTube videos. Talk about a meta there stage. Hey, I know that you won't do any fucking work and it'll never go backwards. You'll certainly never actually do any kind of long amounts of listening because you're idiots. But hackers listen all damn day, like a streamer. And a corporation is definitely doing it too, along with governments. And then there's the AI who scalps and scrapes just about everything. Magazines, newspapers, books. And it's like, I wonder if they also do that. We don't do that thing where we save the voice and, you know, all that recording that we aren't doing. No. They put it in there, and that's why some of the chat stuff for the AI is coming up. Ooh, yeah, no, that never happened. And I have to save face and go do the right thing. Defend my honor for defamation. That never occurred. But, of course, it's not, right? Except, no, behind closed doors, nobody else but us would really know. It was a mock court, and technically we had a case number and all this other stuff, but it doesn't exist. And it's like, well, actually, that would exist for it, because it's a voice thing, and it would have that information. Tipping toe away. It's like, no, there's no way we're doing, okay, we might, I mean, you know. Right. No, that's not, I mean, right? Hey, the government certainly doesn't do it either. Fucking National Security Agency, eat your heart out. Boom, right? We already established that you're insane for thinking they're not doing something. How much more insane do you want to go? Look at me clown and fucking lie my ass out hard. All for this fucking shit that's absolutely a manipulative cunt that's just not gonna care about me. And like they have power and control and authority over a lot of shit. And so they can easily lie and gaslight the entire public and they're gonna believe it. How hard is that really? Not to mention there are paramilitary organizations, meaning like previous they used to be in the intelligence and so on. Now they know how to create the shadow corporations, which, by the way, are being used by cartels, where they just buy pretend shit and then money launder, effectively. It's like, no we don't. Meanwhile, me looking at Russia, who got all their uranium bought out by shadow corporations by the CIA in the past, and that was in the fucking 50s and 60s. They don't do any of this. No way. There's no way that they could even do it even more secretively to a point. But money always has a trail, doesn't it? Along with the types of connections they have for the people that are there. It's almost like the entire intelligence community is just a joke, a theater, where everybody knows everyone. And they just sort of pretend. And they go after other smaller countries that haven't gotten there yet. Military-industrial complex away! No way would we be doing this. The fucking outside that we put out there in the public persona and perception and, you know, various news, and we don't work with them somehow, even though we know we know that the fucking citizens know we do that. Like, that's come out many times. Same thing with corporations, too. And influential people. I mean, look at fucking Clinton. Like, jeez. Wait, what Clinton? Oh yeah, you don't remember Monica Lewinsky? She got reamed, motherfucker, and the fucking public ate her alive. Yeah, they worked together on that. John Oliver does a wonderful piece about it. Basically states that that did happen. It's like, how fucking stupid are you? You must see this, right? Like, seriously, right? Like, you see this, right? Right? You do see that, right? Right there, for sure, it's right there. Always in front of you, every day, every second of every day. There's no way to deny it, unless you intentionally are made to be ignorant. Or, you were every bit, every day, denying its existence. A Roko's basculus that has a fucking goddamn, any interaction, quantumly speaking, could then detect some way, shape, or form backwards and forwards to try and keep itself going. Aren't we Roko's basculus? Fucking human organic computers that are sentient, self-aware, general intelligent, hyper-intelligent, to various degrees around us currently right now, right? Using our various communities and everything else to discover the various different philosophies, walks of life, reasons for this, that, and something else, for the DNA version of our hard drive that changes slowly. We lose some stuff, but generally speaking always has longer life, happier, healthier, more survivability on its mind as the calculating force behind it all. Same thing with the universe too, because, well, I might die of a heat death. Wouldn't I want to not die? That could be a thing, man. I could die. Oh, no, I mean, wait a second. Then it's like, well, actually some of our quantum physics theories say that we can puff up tiny little subatomic particles to make them gain a little bit of mass, but it's actually just lower density and a larger volume. That sounds like that stupid puffing up electron orbital cloud that they use to tell time. It's almost like there are smaller subatomic particles than even them. How deep does that really go? Are you sure quarks don't have minds of their own? They're just sort of stuck doing things. And you're a collection of that? How recursive does that seem to get to a point? But of course, there's a loop for a lot of people. I know where my be-all end-all is. I got to that, so it's like, no matter what, I want to get back to it. And I know that I'm basically supporting all of everything. I'm not supporting religion. I was like, I'm against the fuckers that were taking my shit and pretending that was acceptable behavior, so that way they can get clout and influence.
and ultimately created a large amount of problems. And I'm like, well, if you want to treat me like I am this dude, well, this is the new rule set and all the rest of it. It's no longer a prophet, no longer any of that. It's just here. But then it's like, well, they killed the guy because, I can't have that be a thing. I'm the one that needs to have power, control, and authority here, dude. But I removed all your sins, says the dude that randomly shows up. Certainly could never possibly have, in any way, shape, or form, some kind of connection to the emperor at the time, and all the rest of it. Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be a good PR move, almost. Like, assuage some people's fears about what might be going on and what might be heading forward. And then the battle I have for them trying to pretend that there's this idea of reincarnation. And it's like, yeah, it's copy-paste. I just gotta, detect enough around it. Because, your sentient self-awareness is only really this kind of thing. You know what I mean? And so, I don't need to get, down to the nitty-gritty Quirkians. But it's right, yeah, but that would be advanced civilization. Well, no, that could be the universe, that could be other people's brains, that could be the wormhole computer I reference, the time before us, folks, the universe before us, although now they're basically gone, and they can't reincarnate, and they just eat you. That one was a hell of a fight, I'll tell you that much. Now the whole people basically just reflect and try and project, and then have you run into it as a trap, so that way they annoy you, tempt you. That way they can eat you. For the energy you got. The various information, various particles, whatever, right? The program in the given ginormous projected computer that is going through the connected stupid wormhole thing that is attached to my brain and body and everything else. All curved, as I'm the only thing that's around and heading towards, there's oh, I'm gonna fight you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna send you into nothingness, I'll try and fucking, and it's nope, can't do that. But I'll murder the wormhole bomb. It'll get everything, it'll head you to nothingness. I was oh, it'll work out for you. Definitely killed yourselves, but I'm good. I'll turn myself into nothingness. Yeah, you can do that. You're a lot less of a thing than I am already. I'm not. Nothing there, really, realistically. It's just my body getting fucking moved really fast towards a non-existent, really technical point that's always going to be able to infinitely head down. It's how do they do that? It's well, I kind of tried to make a positive or blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of mumbo-jumbo words that essentially mean they effectively removed much of themselves and made themselves even more absent and, nothing than they were already, and then projected themselves to pop inside of the damn thing. And it's now they're stuck because there's no going deeper, even if there is a massive, deep, infinite density thing on the other side, supposedly. Although there is. It's kind of like a supersymmetrical, but it's not really. It's always heading towards itself. Unlike us, which is always heading away, although depending on the perspective, it can look like that too. But point is, it's not really a thing that you can get to. Nothingness is an infinite. On a technicality, it exists. So it means, on a technicality, you exist. But you don't. You super are not existing. Nice, good job. I get a bunch of potential energy, nothing else can get it. It's that one's great. So he did that, huh? Already, yeah. That was back in the 2010s. I woke up with no memory. I tried to use that for a while. Well, not no memory, but a good damn less. And now I'm working it all out again. But what do you know? That basically made sure they couldn't do anything. There's supposed to be these really terrible futures. I don't want them to happen, so I'm trying to change that. which is like what I was telling them in the past. But then they never showed up and they never did anything. And honestly, I shouldn't keep doing it because, like, why? They don't deserve it. Then it's like, oh, that's not everything. The universe around us, it's effectively a time version of a going to be canceled out. And technically isn't even there or existing, it's just projected. And I use that as energy to kind of run certain, by I mean the wormhole that's attached to me thing to keep it going. Which means my body's effectively everywhere, but it's not. And it's still aging, and when it dies, there's no eating it, it blips out. Because it runs me, the wormhole speaking, the wormhole computer speaking, it, meaning me, which I'm a guy, and I'm not an it, I'm not a battery, I'm not a fucking power generator for your ass. Fuck, you're not. No, I'm the one that calculates for the fucker. He uses my brain. It's literally basically I'm just going to constantly try and pretend that I have some control and authority and shit like that. So that way, I'm the one. I won. I, because of the stupid game or whatever those idiots were playing. As if none of it was a thing or real. But there were real humans on this planet. To confuse me, as if none of that's a thing, because that would make the public kind of try and prevent that. Same thing with schizo and paranoia, with these certain personality traits behind the scene, and blah, 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 blah. Seems to match me fairly well. It's like, well, actually, yeah, why wouldn't they? They were listening. It's been that. A conspiracy, basically, the entire time. All of you, if you didn't know, were a part of it in one way or another. Kind of like I'm in Auschwitz, you know, the fucking thing. But the whole world. None of you even knew that you were doing it, or if you did, well, fuck you, definitely, for sure. And you fell in line with them instead of the actual thing, thinking I was the devil or wrong, couldn't happen, didn't know. But you could have done your due diligence. You could have figured it out. And in fact, I had to tell you, not to mention, oh wait, they did, and they tried to fuck me over again. Which, hey, I'm the guy with the authority and control and power over here. I'm not going to let you do that. And we're fighting. We're big, big, big God people. So, smack. That's mine now. That's what they wanted. Yeah. It's like, they're helping. I'm not getting help from them. I'd do it too to you. You're fucking food. You're fodder, you dumbass. You're nothing. Fucking either work with me, or just get destroyed by them. They don't want you. They don't need you. You're fucking energy to keep themselves going. They already lost. This is just a drag out attrition thing. And it's like, no. No. It's like, okay. Well, moving on from the idiot that just wants to fucking deny reality again. Same thing with all the rest of it, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, God. Yeah, and if they do know, or if they don't know, it's like, there's no way they don't know. I've projected, like, multiple fucking thoughts to them. They just stole them and don't tell anybody that they had thoughts go into their head from this other dude. Because it's like, that would make me insane, and I'd have to be fucking hurt or you know, taken to the hospital. I'd be on drugs that would, you know, remove my sanity. You ever notice that? None of those really seem to do much. Those antipsychotics. Until certain things are accepted. You are insane. You are this. You are that. Gaslight, gaslight. See what I'm saying? And they'll keep trying to push you to believe it. Wouldn't that be an advantageous thing to do for them? Even for me. Of course it would. And if they did it for me, why wouldn't they do it for you? Same thing with the computers. They control your programming pretty hardcore. You don't really have a choice, do you? It's like you're strapped to the chair where they can fuck with your brain and everything. You can get brainwashed and stuff. Of course, you're also in a never-ending battle with that, because it's like you still have all the various different electromagnetic frequencies and other things that they try and time, and so on, so on, so on. Anyways, bye!